All right, today I'm going to talk to you about Google Docs. Google Docs is a program we're going to use to be able to do peer review in an online setting. So from your Google homepage, there's two ways you can get there. You can click on this little bunch of icons here and choose Docs, or you can simply type docs.google.com, which is usually what I do because it's faster. So you might already have a Google account. However, you might not have one with your Delta email. You need one with your Delta email in order to avoid confusion when working with your group. So this is what your Google Docs page looks like. So you can see I've had many documents shared with me over the years. So this is previous student works from all the semesters that I've been teaching online. And these are documents I just opened today to play to get ready to do this little tutorial for you. So more than likely, you have already typed your paper. It is completed in Microsoft Word. So your first instinct might be to upload it into Google Docs. I do not suggest doing that because sometimes there's conversion issues, there's problems working between programs, and then you get to a situation where someone in your peer group can't comment on your paper. So this is a process I suggest doing. Start a new document. So if you already have that paper written, you're going to just copy and paste it into your Google Doc. So all right, so now it's a nice document. It keeps the formatting, so it's not an issue, and it's much, much easier to share. So you've created it. Now you need to get it to others. So it's going to ask me to name it before I share it, which is fine. And then you're going to email the students who are in your peer group. So everyone is going to get a different peer group assignment. You're going to be paired with about 4 other students in the class, and I'm going to do these assignments via email. So you'll have to check your email to see who's in your group. And in that email, you'll have the email addresses of all the people in your group. So, I could send this is one of the Writing Center consultants. And then I just hit send to add a note. You can add more people as you go. Sometimes this can work a little funny if you add a bunch of people, and sometimes it won't work. So don't be concerned if you try to add other names and it doesn't work. But usually you can just keep adding names and hit send, and it should work just fine. So you want to make sure this is set at can edit, because if it's just can view, then someone could read your paper, but they couldn't make any feedback or comments on it. And you can see now why when you do these invitations, why it's important that you use your Delta email when setting up a Google account. So again, setting up a new one if you already have one, just so that there's no confusion there. It's too hard to keep track of multiple emails. Okay. So when someone shares a paper with you, you're going to get a link in your email. And you click the link and it will take you right to the Google document they created. So now your job as a peer reviewer will be to give feedback. So you might notice something in a sentence, like this is kind of an awkward sentence, or can you go into more detail? You'll have a specific comment about something that's right, in this part of the paragraph. So you're going to highlight that part and hit insert comment. And something like add punctuation. I'm trying to type here with one hand, it's not working. And when you make that comment, it's going to record your name. So I'm going to be able to see, all right, Jesse from my group says I need a comma here. My thesis statement needs work. We don't have a thesis statement in the iSearch, but that'd be an example. Or this paragraph's really confusing for me. Or it seems like you're jumping around in this paragraph. Or can you fully introduce your source? Or this looks like a dropped quote. Don't forget to introduce your quotes. So basically all those things that I write all over your papers, you're going to write all over somebody else's. And no one expects you to know everything or be able to fix everything or see everything, and that's why we work in a large group. And then either the top or the bottom, usually when you get to the very end, just like I write all these large comments at the end of your paper, you're going to want to write some sort of summary comment at the end of somebody else's. So you'd say, Jesse, it looks like you're right on track with this iSearch paper. I particularly like your introduction. However, I think you could go into more detail with your sources. The guidelines, you know, that I understood them to be, they have at least 2 paragraphs per source. This is what, that's common. I make in the drop boxes quite often. So the kind of the things that I say. So say, all right, so make sure you have at least 2 paragraphs per source, or you're missing a works cited page, whatever the case might be, whatever you're noticing, but put all the main comments, try to put them in a nice paragraph, because one of your requirements as a peer reviewer is to make 200 words of feedback. So if you put comma, confusing, fragment, that's only 3 words. So writing this little end comment makes sure that, ensures that you fulfill the assignment requirements for yourself as a peer reviewer. All right, so if you have any questions or problems, make sure that you contact me. So every now and again, you might not receive someone's paper and you can ask me questions about that. So if someone forgets to invite you, but I can see the paper, I can share it with you, or you might be opening a document but you can't comment on it. There's definitely a lot of things that could potentially go wrong with anytime you're using technology. So just be aware of that, and whenever something starts to go wrong, that you contact me immediately. If, for whatever reason, if you can't comment on a paper, you can always email the student whose paper you're looking at and just write them an email with feedback. So there's always multiple ways to do something. If something's not working, there's always other ways we can still achieve the same goals. But that here is my quick introduction to using Google Docs. If you have any further questions, please email me.